guiding win. So with those two heroes being out, there's more mobility coming up from Geek fam, and also because you have a Zaz that has lack of mobility, this is where the Matilda can bring that Zaz into the team fights.
Acting as enabler, acting as facilitator as always. So let's hear with a different approach, not just from NIP Flash but also from Geek fam, what will happen in game 2? Will we see a game 3 or will this be the end of NIP Flash? I'm throwing to you, Husky, and Aries. Talk me through it.
I mean, it feels like not just the stakes are high, but the odds are stacked against NIP Flash in this game number 2. We talked about Jushin liking immobile heroes. Well, Matilda solves that problem, so good luck to you, Curtisi, in that mid lane. This could be the final game for NIP Flash. Playoffs hangs in the balance, Aries.
Yeah, this is going to be a repeat of what we saw for game 1. I think Geek fam, it's all about setting the tone of the fights, right? Aggression, aggression, aggression. You have the Matilda, you have the Roger. On top of it all, you have a Zaz that can come online pretty decently well. So I think this is where NIP Flash have to be very cautious about. However, this time down with the Cho, it's not like they have to sit back. They can set up those fights. You have the juicing that gives you a bit of the crowd control that is lacking because of the Cho. So I think it's a balance. It's a really balanced gameplay, but the focal point would still be on this Julian. Can Hades hit those power spikes that you want on this bursty assassin?
Yeah, on the flip side of having the Cho being able to move around the map, you have Matilda, right? It feels like Beloyski's Matilda is the answer to a majority of the things that Geek fam has. Hades shows up and instantly realizes that there's nothing that they could do. So a quick reset for NIP Flash.
Geek fam here taking it slow, applying a little bit of pressure on the top lane just to make sure that Kadera is fine farming. End of the day, Moskov is still that backup plan if things go south. If there is still a farmed up Moskov, this way can carry Spear of Misery.
Yeah, JPL gotta be really careful with that. Chidera and Beloyski working together, and this lane pretty much skewed in the favor of Geek fam. Forced an early recall for Owl, he lost out at least 2 minutes in the process. The minion wave is gonna crash underneath the turret at the same time. Geek fam freeing up Beloyski.
Yeah, and the fact that you have the guiding wind, you don't have to be too worried about rotation because you can immediately get to the bot lane when the turtle spawns.
Another recall for Owl. Gotta force to be reset. Maybe NIP Flash can get something done on the bot side. Bring Vincent back, but that's just not enough. Hades too far away to have an impact. And even for mid side, JPL, despite finding Beloyski, cannot follow up. Forced away by a boy.
And then the Merit spawn coming out from the Zaz is so annoying to deal with, right? At one moment you think, it's just a little bit of damage, but the damage over time starts to add up, and this is where Zaz is so deceiving. Just when you think you're fine, once he hits the level 4, then it's just so painful to deal with.
You just don't want to deal with it, right? It's such a headache.
Yeah.
Very minimal solutions.
Yeah, and when he has the dominant descent, it just gets worse.
It just gets worse. And he gets going 1, it gets even worse. So the pain only ramps up. Turtle has spawned. And this is where Adamir has a very important job. We can say the same for JPL, right? Can they catch a target that is not under the effects of guiding wind? Gobs with the penalty zone flicker finds Hades in the back, so Hades needs to be escorted out. Geek fam taking control of the turtle pit, and Adamir being the front line takes away the nightmare spawn, but here comes the demonic descent. Curtisi in danger, he's burning down, and it's gonna be a flicker. Daytona's welcome to the back. Hades takes the turtle away. Vincent gets kicked away by JPL, but Big Brain Beloy has the Beloyski Express. Adamir in danger. Hades with the save, and NIP Flash gets out with the objective.
Well, we said it. If anyone can, it's Hades, right? Despite having a bit of a slightly sticky situation at the start, we saw the penalty zone coming in. A really good guiding wind to pull the Terisla out of a sticky situation. Under it all, Hades with that retribution to secure the turtle there. This is the break that NIP Flash need.
Yeah, not only is getting the objective under that pressure, but also saving his teammate at the same time. All things considered, this is a start that NIP Flash will definitely appreciate, but we are already seeing some of the problems, some of the tests that Geek fam kind of issues, right? How do you get past this Zaz? How do you deal with the mobility that the Matilda provides?
Curtisi now is looking to roam. Like we said, when you have a choosing, you want to be on the front foot, right? Not necessarily in terms of aggression, but at least in the lead, so that when you spot someone out, you can start to initiate. Because when you're on the back foot, even if you do pull someone back, it's just a green light for the opponents to jump right in front of you. So I think NIP Flash definitely do not want that.
Now holding himself pretty well, despite kind of being put behind just slightly on the top side. JPL looking for kick angle, doesn't find it. Circling eagle for Beloy to get away. And with Vincent around, NIP Flash couldn't take this.
And we also see the rotations coming off the mid lanes now. Caught into action. A boy waiting in the brush. I was expecting a fight there, right? Because Aboy, you never know what he's gonna do. He does have the damage because he had the Dominus Descent, but just Cho, he can just chicken do and shimpo out of that.
Definitely a way slower game compared to game number 1, right? NIP Flash finding certain solutions to not only stop Geek Fam from snowballing out of control, but also to protect themselves, right? You build this wall to give Hades and especially Owl space on this carry. Second turtle up on the bot side. This could be where it starts to break the game open.
And this is very uncharacteristic of both teams. Usually we would have a first blood or two by now, but because of the gravitas of this match, right, the importance on these results, you can feel like there is a hinge, a little bit of uncertainty on both sides.
Veloci getting pulled back, circling Ego to the back. JPL also does the same, but has to flicker to safety. Vincent on the chase. The chains come up. Penalty zone from Gobs, locking down JPL and Hades, but they both will get away for now. The stun, not enough from the side of the boy, but it might be sufficient to catch Hades in the bad spot. Vincent on the chase, Curtizi on the run, and his first blood going over to a boy.
Well played by Game Fan there. It felt a little bit too close for my liking. Beloyski as well, nearly going down, and JPL looking for a pick-off, but I don't think he should do it. Gob's coming in the nick of time just to give a little bit of a warning. JPL, if you come in, I will smack you down with my hammer.
Sort of an MVP for that fight, boy. How do you do with his alien offsprings, right? The demonic descent is just constantly dealing damage over time to NIP Flash. They juggled it the best they could, but it's so unfortunate that Curtizi got caught with the crowd control.
This is how close the game is, right? Turtle on both sides, and look at the goal. Not even 3-digit lead for either side. It's jumping back and forth, back and forth. Wow, we are in for a ride. But NIP Flash at this point still trying to manage a little bit of a goal lead there, making sure that this carry farms up. Same thing goes for Geek Fam, the Moscow farming up right now. I think for JPL and Beloyski, it's all about these two.
Yeah.
Who can make the better play for their teams to enter these team fights?
Toughest challenge for NIP Flash yet. I mean, JPL really wants to help clear the wave and will be successful in doing so at the cost of some of his HP. The turret's still very low, and I think Geek Fam, they want this structure with the next wave. Bottom side, Golf drops the penalty zone to delay time, but Hades finds the kill.
This is good. This is good for NIP Flash. We're starting to see the barrage roam around a lot more now. This is very characteristic from what we saw from the entirety of the tournament. Whenever the barrage comes online, you want him to be that front line.
And Ao instantly uses the ultimate, pushes Geek Fam back, defends the structure for a second time in a row. NIP Flash finally getting Adamir to the top side. And that does set them up for Ao to have more space, but Turtle is on bot side though.
Yeah, it's so tough. It's so tough when you're up against Matilda, and this is what she brings to the bot, right? Not only does she have a great sense of mobility, she also can pull her teammates out of trouble, like we saw at the top lane.
Not sure if JPL wants to fight this. Beloyski will commit onto it with the help of Chadera. JPL forces a flicker, and Ao also needs to back off. A constant headache. And what do you do, right? JPL just does not want to get the kick. Or rather, he can't.
Yeah, but at the same time, well, this is good for NIP Flash. You are giving more time for this carry to come in the game. And like we said, when you have a Barats on your side, and he does pick up that Thunder Belt, this is where he will skill. But interestingly enough, Adamir actually decided to go for the Gunden's help. So I think he's just looking for more HP to tank up, rather than, that late game skilling.
Yeah, not even a Thunder Belt first. And then knockout from Beloy. Turtle goes over to Hades. A good engage, but Gobs comes in with the counter. NIP Flash wanting to take this out. Curtizi stacking up the damage with the Lantern as Adamir gets away, but not far enough to find safety. A boy with a double kill as Curtizi takes Winston down. Gob still healing up, and Brain Beloy pulls him to safety for another time. Now it's our turn to join the fight, but it's just not enough. Beloyski pulled back out, picks up the kill. Even trace, but NIP Flash gets the objective.
Really prolonged fight, and he even had enough time to call both the gold laners from the top lane into the middle. But now look at this choosing. Curtizi just being a pain in Gobsnack. That burning is enough. No, it isn't. Hades nearly wanted to follow up there as well. But boy, this game is close. But NIP Flash now starting to have a little bit of a lead in their favor. Just slightly under 1.5k gold. However, on the other side, Kadera just finding this pocket of spaces to push down that tier 1 tower at the top lane.
This is where I want to talk about something that Geek Fam has brought to the table so far. How do you solve a boy? Oh, well, this king maybe is one of the stars. Beloy getting adjusted. Actually, no!
Oh!
Wow, the light wheels taking him down mid-air. NIP Flash finding signs of life. Top tier 1 goes down. But yes, how do you solve our boy right now?
Well, I think first and foremost is about rotating quickly enough that the Zaz doesn't get put in the picture. This is where NIP Flash have been finding pickouts, right? Beloyski finds himself in no man's land, in a way of dragon kick, sends him backwards. The carry is there to follow up. And Geek Fam, if they're not too careful, JPL can find even more of these engagements. And I think NIP Flash have to constantly do it. They cannot allow Geek Fam the rest that they did not have in game 1.
Absolutely. Actually, they caught Beloy before his Purify came off cooldown. It was like a 3-second difference. While NIP Flash, they now maybe can look to set up for the Lord, spawning top side right now. Seems like most of them are positioned in that spot, but again, a boy is going to be a bit of a headache. JPL finds him, that's the kick. Purify baited out. A boy will go into his ultimate as Kurtisi pops his to bait distance. Beloyski also in the fight. Adamir on a separate angle, dealing with Vincent and Gobs. Both teams looking to just play this tug of war.
Yeah, this is good. This is good for NIP Flash. Dominance Descent already used, so our boy would not be effective in team fight. But NIP Flash, they're playing it very safe. You know, you can't afford to make a mistake. We worked so hard for the goal, but I feel like they're giving Geek Fam too much respect, right? I think at the end of the day, they still don't want to take a bad team fight because of the potency that Gobs can bring as a Terisla.
Yeah, Lord dances are hard, man. Lord just hits harder and harder with every second, and Hades had to retreat because he was the only one on that objective. And Geek Fam successfully pushing NIP Flash off the Lord, but NIP Flash, they don't want to let go of space, and they're trading their health as a result of that.
Geek Fam doing a very good job at managing the pace, right? They're pulling the ball in NIP Flash caught, but it's a hot potato instead of a basketball because Geek Fam, they have everything resetted. Dominant Descent once again available for a boy, and if Geek Fam really want to, they can take this fight to NIP Flash.
And Adamir just used the Daytona's welcome. He was trying to fish for something, but Geek Fam were just not in range, so key spells are gone. Maybe JPL will be the difference maker. He's going to be spotted out by Gobs. That's not the target you want. And this nightmare spawn from a boy is just a nuisance. That's a walking turret.
But this is also not too bad for Adamir, right? But as a Barrage, remember the first item he picked up was the Guardian's Helm. So as long as he goes out of fight, not for too long, he can regen those HP back. So a really good balance coming up for both teams. But for Geek Fam, look at that. They're confident that NIP Flash will not take the Lord. They even sent the Roger into the jungle to get extra farm.
Yeah. And the majority of NIP Flash's net worth comes from Hades, right? 1,000 ahead of this Roger. But like you said, Vincent, he gets the space that he wants. And on the same time, Chadera, he's also being given some of the jungle camps. This tangle, very, very extended.
It's
both
nerve-wracking.
teams, they don't want to give up space.
Yeah.
It's...
And we're already starting to see Vincent hit that level 15, so that sort of the level gap that Hades had over the Roger is completely gone. And this is good for Geek Fam. They've delayed, or at least they've sent a bit of a shiver down NIP Flash's spine long enough for Vincent to catch up to Hades' level.
Yeah, whatever happens in the background right now, Hades, his 15 first, so still a level ahead of Vincent. NIP Flash looking to rush down the Lord. The Blitz might prove to be fruitful. Hades gets the objective. Gobs isolated. The JPL and Adamir do their best to keep Geek Fam away, a sacrifice that is worth it. But Geek Fam might just want more. Vincent can't find the space. JPL in the front, shun post to safety, and NIP Flash makes the move.
Yeah, Adamir the scapegoat of it all. NIP Flash, they were looking for the Lord. They got it. They tried to look for the re-entry, but Geek Fam, they're not going to push their luck so far.
Hades is going to try Chadera. That was close.
Close. That was close. If the enhanced chain had land, I think that would have been a dead Moskov.
Yeah. Or at least a Purify.
Yeah, that's right. And JPL now just going to go back. I think they're going to reset things. That was how long it took to take the Lord. It became an enhanced Lord.
Yeah.
And well, with it pushing down the bot lane now, I think for Geek Fam, it's about clearing up the waves. And they have the resources to do so, right? A boy on the Zaz. You got Moskov. Those are really good wave clears. But Vincent dropping very low.
They want Vincent. Vincent rolls away. The transform. Gobs. Sacrificial lamb. Good kick by JPL. NIP Flash still has the capacity to continuing this blitzkrieg. Geek Fam wanting to hold this siege back. JPL again fishing for an opportunity. Beloyski will buy time with the circling ego as the Lord gets whittled down, but this should be an inhibitor for NIP Flash. What a push.
Yeah, fantastic macro lane management coming up for NIP Flash to get not only tier 3 at the bot lane, but also tier 2. And look at how tanky Adamir is as a barrage, but JPL finding a little barrage.
Chidera lands the all. JPL is the target, pinned to the wall. Chidera finds the kill. They could not finish him off, but there's a trade there. Chidera going off. Winter Crown for Hades. Vincent as a trade, but Chidera, he has free reign out, trying to man fight gods. Should be able to find him with the light wheel. Chidera gets brought back by Curtizi, but Adamir works with Curtizi to find a kill. 4 for NIP Flash.
This is tough for a boy in NIP Flash. The ball in the court, they shot the 3-point, they landed it. Can they close this game out? A boy desperately trying to defend here, but I think NIP Flash, they have it in them, and they will bring us to a game 3. Husky, what a game.
Adjustments from NIP Flash. We talked about proactivity. We talked about getting Hades an hour ahead. Hades as the focal point, facilitated by Curtizi on the Jushin. It all came together, right? This came down to the most minuscule of micro decision, and NIP Flash with that Lord Dance came out on top. Gani, we're going to game 3, man.
Man, oh man, this is the first time actually in SPS I've witnessed a game 3. So yeah, this is new.
You can't escape forever.
This is new for me. I did not expect that, but what a game from NIP Flash. More direct, more sharp as well on their execution. Yeah, more proactive in a sense. And they have the right tools. In game 1, remember, it was Minotaur and Aurora. So yeah, they can't really do much being proactive, but now with the Cho and also with the Zushin building, gathering info and whatnot and whatnot, Chidera made a slight mistake. He was being a little too ambitious in that fight, I feel like, which might cost him the game.
Yeah, I suppose both teams needed a hero, right? Chidera was probably one spear of misery away from becoming that, but again, Adamir and Curtizi, the teamwork to not only take him down, but also Owl on the side, right? You cannot forget about his performance to not only win a 1v2, but also finding space away from the enemy carry. Overall, just NIP Flash.
Yeah, I felt like they underestimated the burst damage that carry could have had. And I think our, just send a jot of memory to, hey, I'm still around, right? I'm still impactful. And you saw even with the Nightmaric spawn going into the Dominator's descent, the Owl just could burst it down. The carry's damage output was so much that the Zaz felt like there was no impact. And boy, well, I know Goni said he was recovering from game 1. Now I'm still recovering from game 2. My heart, like they had correct me if I'm wrong, they had near 5 minutes of standstill Mexican standoff at that lot.
It could be 5 minutes. I lost count. Yeah. Oh boy, but also JPL Cho. We gotta talk about this man's impact. Sure, he only had 2 assists, but you think about the kicks he's found, right? The first one was on Beloy, the second one onto Gobs of all people, and it was when Owl was in his vicinity, JPL finding the 2 crucial kicks that set off this chain reaction for NIP Flash to take the lead.
Totally different approach, right? Isolate. With Cho, you want to isolate members, and with JPL presence, not just the kicks, right? He screens a lot, he gathers infos a lot for your team, and of course, Owl is just there for the vibes in the backside and just, throwing out shurikens. Of course, he will deal the most damage in this game. And let's not forget Hades on that Julian. Wow. Couple of steals, solid retributions as well in this game, providing a lot of EXPs generally.
Yeah, I think one of the key highlights in the items that we didn't really talk about as well was the Barats picking up the Guardian's Helm as a first item. That gave so much sustain to Barat, or rather for Adamir, because he could just afford to soak the damage. And when it came to the Mexican standoff, because of the Guardian Helm, he was actively healing up when they were not fighting. So I think I don't know if it's by design, but hey, it worked out. And I think that is a genius play coming from Adamir.
Him and JPL, right? Like JPL getting info on the side, and when the rest of NIP Flash needed to reset thanks to a boy's harassment, Adamir just stepped up to the plate, right? I'll take the damage, you go for the reset, let's do it all over again.
Yeah, it's like a mirror to what we saw in game 1. In game 1, it was Gobs as well as Beloyski. In game 2, it came down to Adamir and JPL. So, it's the EXP and Roam show.
I mean, we highlighted the junglers, but the ESP and Roamers, they want their moment as well.
I mean, technically, right, in this series in particular, the first pick has been the winner. So, yeah, that first pick potential as well. NIP Flash picked up Julian. Sure, the value is so much higher, and you can see here from the gold graph as well that there was a couple of
Rocky
standoff. Yeah,
situations.
rocky situations, but for the most part, it has been for the side of NIP Flash.
I think for the longest of time, NIP Flash were hovering around a 2 to 2.5k goal advantage.
Yeah.
A lot of that was thanks to Hades having a massive lead over Vincent, but you can clearly see the spike, right? It really blew the game open right after that Lord take. So MVP coming up on your screens right now for game number 2. Of course, it's going to be Owl on this carry, untouched the entire game.
And credit to JPL once again, right? He did a good job of making sure that Owl was